That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this podcast forever, and this is the worst damn podcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to G.W.R. Gonzo'S Wrestling Room, Monday, April 3rd, 2023. Monday after WrestleMania. Got the Raw after Mania here in a little bit.
Yep, Monday after Christmas. My Christmas.
But I'm Chris Gonzo'S, joined by Tony Gonzo'S. How you doing?
Doing good.
And then we're also joined by Marcus Fine. How's it going, Marcus?
Doing all right.
I ate too much food.
I might be what my problem has been today. My stomach's been all jacked up.
Well,
Marcus,
Marcus, how was your? First of all, how was your vacation?
It was very well. We enjoyed it. Weather couldn't have been better till we come home. But that's
Till you
not
came home. Yeah, till you came home, then it went all to heck.
Started coming home, got really bad. But
well, I figured we'd start off maybe with. I know you went to a couple shows. Figured we'd start off with that.
all right. Made our annual visit to the Microtorium in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, to see the Micro Wrestling Federation. Some of the matches that happened on that was Little Chono took on Pinky Shortcake and defeated her. Micro Tiger defeated Brock Jr. and Psycho, who is the current Micro Wrestling Champion, defended his title against Little Suave. You ever get a chance, anyone ever gets a chance to see Micro Wrestling Federation, whether it's in Pigeon Forge or in a city near you, I highly suggest you do so. These guys and gals are some of the hardest working people I have ever seen. They do it all. Set up the ring, tear it down. They run merch. They run tickets. They run sessions. They run their own commentary, their own lighting. They do it all. And then they pack it all up and drive to the next city and do it again. They don't have a ring crew, so they are the ring crews. So
yeah, we got some shows coming to Indiana. I know one, Martinsville, I believe.
yeah, Martinsville, July 11th for the fair at Morgan County Fairgrounds. And there's one coming up in West Lafayette that I think is an adults only in a bar. And sometime this month, I think. I couldn't give you the date on that, but then I was at the Deb on Friday. We were supposed to be at a show in Ludlow, Kentucky. We went ahead and came on home. We got the figure, and by the time the show got done in Ludlow, when we got back to the room, it would have been midnight. Well, we were back home at midnight in our own bed, so we just came on up. And awesome show, a sellout. They were turning people away at the door. People were trying to get in there, and yeah. Some of the matches on that one was Jordan James defended his Gunslinger Championship against Jackson Morgan. Hi, Glenn. Dutch Boy Platinum became the new territorial champion when he defeated Rachel Armstrong. And Dex defeated Brody in a 2 out of 3 falls street fight match, and they were literally all over the arena. They even were fighting in Bruce McGar's. He was at the back row where you guys set up, and they were fighting on top of him. So Dex threw a bunch of chairs out at the finale. Dex threw a bunch of chairs out over there by where Kevin and his grandfather sits, there by the office. And a stack of chairs, probably, I don't know, 3 foot tall. Threw Brody into him, and then he climbed up on the ring post and jumped from the ring post out over that guardrail into them chairs. And that's how they ended the show. Fantastic. So, yeah, they did very well at the Dub on Friday.
I know you didn't get to go to the Lebanon show because of some things, but I heard some really good things. I heard, Bruce McGar said he's seen the greatest match he ever seen. Dex and Dutch Boy in the cage.
I can believe that. And they had a lot of people. I seen pictures, and even though it was WrestleMania Night 1, they still filled that place up. So
that's awesome. That's great.
You know, Dex had a really busy couple of days with a massive street fight, and then turning around and taking on Dex or Dutch Boy in a cage. So he's probably pretty sore today if we were to call him up.
Yeah, I bet, man. Heck of a weekend for him. Well, we'll go ahead and get into the weekend, the WrestleMania.
Sure.
Did you get to see WrestleMania?
Yep, since we didn't go, I watched. We got real tired. I got back up and watched Rey Mysterio, Rhea Ripley, and the main event. And then the next morning, I went back and watched the first half. So yes, I've seen all of WrestleMania. I've seen the Hall of Fame, and so I'm on.
What'd you think of the Hall of Fame?
I thought it was very well done. I thought how we having 5 people was kind of like, okay, but I think it went well.
Yeah.
For just having the 5 people. And I love the, Muta's mask. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That mask was something else. And you could tell he's been at it a while, the way he walked onto the ring. He's got that, I've been at this forever walk.
Well, it's kind of strange though. He would walk like that, but then when he would like do a quick movement in the ring, he moved pretty quick.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird.
I like the Hall of Fame. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Conan was outstanding. He had me fired up.
Yeah, he did very well presentations.
Yeah, he was very good. I liked it. I thought it was a real well done. I liked that they didn't go overboard with the Dom thing, but I thought what they did was perfect. You know, some people said he should have attacked him. I said, no, I think that would have been too much.
No, you don't want to ruin the Hall of Fame, but he made a point and it worked out well.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I really enjoyed the Hall of Fame. It seemed like the crowd liked it pretty well too.
Yeah.
WWE had a heck of a weekend. They sold out Friday night there. I seen the NXT did 8,000 tickets for their show there in California at that arena. They did 8,000. And then they've said over 80,000 of both nights of WrestleMania. So they had a heck of a weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I didn't watch the NXT stuff. So
I thought Ray's
it was very good.
I thought Ray's Hall of Fame speech was real good.
Yeah,
too.
I thought it was real good. Yeah, I thought it was very good. Well, Marcus, what was your thoughts on the first night of WrestleMania?
Well, I think the first night was a lot better than the second night. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I thought the first night was better.
You want my top match? I thought Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair stole the show. I thought that is personally my match of the night, match of the whole thing, really.
Yeah, it's I've got 2 or 3 matches for the whole thing, but it's right there. I love the physicality in that match. Man, they were hitting hard.
Yeah, when she hit Charlotte's laying up over that ring post and just laying there. It's like, well, no, you've never seen that. That was just perfect.
Yep.
And the way Charlotte sat there and was just happy that Rhea was taking on, she passed the torch, basically, it looked like.
Yeah, it definitely looked that way. Some of them body shots that they were throwing into the back, I mean, they were stiff. It was a really well done match. I really enjoyed it. Probably my favorite. It was right there. I really liked the 3-way match on the second night.
Mm-hmm.
But on the first night, I liked the main event of night 1. I did have one criticism. Chris did too. Too many super kicks.
I agree.
They got a little super kick happy, but the story they told and the false finishes were very good. I thought it was a real good match too. I thought Ray and Dominic was good. I love Dominic's entrance.
Yeah, I'll get here mixed emotions. Some loved it and some thought that was just not right. But I thought, that's fantastic.
Glenn said he loved that entrance.
I loved it.
I liked Ray's better.
I like Ray's too.
In there.
Yeah, it was awesome. But when they first came on and showed Dominic in the bars, I said, "Come on, take him to the arena." And I wanted him to go a step further. There's a movie. It's a comedy. I can't think of the name of something guy. It's a comedy, and he goes to he's trying to impress a girl. And he goes to prison.
You're talking the new guy.
New guy, and where they went
to school.
Back to the school, and he's got the straight jacket and all. I think that would have been great if they'd have pulled in there and pulled him out of that. And I thought they should have went a step further. I think that'd have been hilarious. But yeah, I thought the match was well done. I really liked it. I tell you the 4-way tag team match. I thought it was real good on the first night, which the Street Profits won it. But
Oh yeah,
I thought
'cause
the
their
Logan
timing
Paul.
was- those guys' timing was spot on, all of them.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah, I thought all the matches were good. Probably the worst match, and not that I thought it was bad, was probably Cena and Theory, but I thought the match did what they wanted it to do, trying to get Theory, over. So I mean, I thought night one was really good.
The only problem I had with that is the low blows are getting ridiculous, and just in the independents as well. There's just too many low blows going on anymore.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I agree.
Yeah, because you almost know when they're coming. I like I did like the Pat McAfee surprise little thing with the Miz, but I'm a big McAfee fan as well.
Yeah.
So I watch it. I watch his show a lot, but I thought that was a good add in. But yeah, I agree with you guys. I love the Rhea and Charlotte match.
The Logan Paul,
the main event was,
Logan Paul and Seth and that guy in the bottle, KSI.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was pretty.
Hey, when the face first came out, I thought it was R-Truth.
A lot of people,
I did too.
A lot of people thought it was R-Truth.
I said that's R-Truth. I was like, no, it isn't.
Except if I don't know if you guys followed on Facebook, Jared Kripke said it was him.
Yeah,
and then he said he was the cinnamon toast thing too. He was on Facebook saying that. But yeah, I thought night one was better. And I think the biggest difference, and it may have been because of the injuries, night two didn't flow as well. Night one had a real good flow to it, and I thought night two, that it could have been because of the injuries. You had two injuries back to back. You had Finn, and then you had Shane.
That was nasty.
Yep.
Well, that's what he gets for trying to get the limelight. I mean, I don't feel sorry for Shane. He should have kept his nose out of it. And
let's see. Eddie Park says best match from both nights is the Intercontinental Championship match. That was a real good one too. I love that. They beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
Did you see Sheamus's? He had not only had the handprint, but either the thumb, and it had to be the thumb, was all blood. It was like a blood streak across his chest.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Speaking of taking the beatings, go back to NXT. If you can look it up, the guy's name's Waller. Do you remember his first name? Grayson Waller. Look up his pictures. I'm sure they're out there of the beating he took with a kendo stick of his body. A lot of them was from Johnny Gargano's wife, who's also a professional wrestler. Oh man, he took a beating. He took a beating.
Kelly said, "What did you think of Snoop Dogg on night two?" I thought he done. I thought he in the moment having to improv like that. I thought he done awesome.
I mean, people were making fun because he's not a wrestler, but I thought it was funny that he slow-moed that down.
Yeah,
Well, it wasn't planned. I mean, none of that was planned. They said get in the ring and do something, so he got in the ring and did something. So I mean, there were some people. I'd say Walter was all over him. Walter had a bad weekend. I don't know if you've seen some of his posts. He had a really bad weekend. I think he was thinking about ending it all because Cody lost and he just couldn't take it.
He was mad because he said Snoop couldn't run the ropes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I thought it was funny because he couldn't run the ropes.
I agree with Mark. It kind of made it look a little bit even more entertaining, because especially the way he was running toward the rope and he would stop and kind of lean back. He
was doing comedy, and I mean that's the only thing he really knew to do. I mean,
I did thought he threw a couple good punches. He made both them punches look pretty good.
Except he's built like a stick.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, as punching the guy, he's not a real physical figure there.
No.
And if his glasses made it out in the audience, that person's got a lot of money in their hand right there. They can prove those glasses.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Go ahead and ask you what do you think, because it's been a big controversy. For some people, WrestleMania got ruined because Cody lost. What do you think about that?
The only thing I have a problem with Cody losing is can Roman Reigns win a match on his own? He never defends a belt and plans clearly. He's always got to have people helping him. If he had pinned Cody cleanly, it'd been one thing, but as always, he's got people coming in there and always bailing him out. So that's the only problem I had. I don't care that Cody won or lost, except for the fact that he didn't just take on Roman. He took on the Usos and what's that other guy's name? Let me flip the page to Solo. Is that his name?
Yep, Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every show, he's always having people come in and help him. So,
well, I know my grandson thought the first night was a 9.5. He really loved it, maybe even a 10. And he thought the second night was right up there too until Cody lost. And he took 2 points off with Cody. He was pretty upset Cody lost.
Well, what did he think?
Well, he didn't like.
Yeah,
he didn't like that Sikoa got ejected, and then came back out and interfered. That was my son's biggest problem with it. He said if it had been somebody else that came out and interfered, it wouldn't have bothered him as much. But Sikoa shouldn't have came back out after he got ejected.
What do you think of Brock and Omos?
Honestly, I liked it.
Did you? There's not a lot of people that did.
Yeah.
I was on this heated mannequins feed, and those guys are just picking it apart.
I mean, I thought Brock sold a lot for him, and then got the win. I thought Omos was going to get the win. I thought Brock was going to put him over.
Most of the work, yeah.
I really did, but I mean, I didn't have a problem with it.
It was actually probably a little bit better than what I thought it was going to be. I mean, I didn't have real high expectations going in for it. So
and then everybody said Brock got done, got out of the ring, got on his jet, and was back in Saskatchewan before Cody went to the ring. So
probably, I'm sure
that's why he ran down there real quick and got done and ran out. So he said they didn't even shut the plate off. He was just sitting there waiting on it.
Yeah, you might be right.
How's it going, Billy?
I think Billy, because Dave LaGreca on Busted Open, he had a fit. He had a fit all last night. Got on the show today, Busted Open, and he had a fit because Cody said that was the perfect opportunity for Cody to win. They ruined WrestleMania. He's upset, and Billy got him pretty good. And Mark Henry was kind of agreeing with him. And then he asked both of them. They went to a break and come back and said, I got a question I want to ask you. He said, if Dusty was booking that show, who would have won the match? And Mark Henry chimed in first. He said, Dusty would have had Roman win that match. He said Cody hadn't been through enough yet. He said he just come back from AEW. Yes, he did get hurt, but he come in the Royal Rumble at 30th. He said, yeah, he ain't had enough hard times yet. He said and of course Dave LaGreca finally admitted he was right, but he was pissed off. He was very upset that Cody lost. I think what they're going to do, and I hope I'm right. I think that Cody will probably win it at SummerSlam. Maybe with some shenanigans, and I think next year at the Rumble, or at the WrestleMania, them two will go one apiece. They'll be one apiece. They'll have a third match, and Cody will win it then.
No, that could try. Yeah, they can get a year out of that.
Oh yeah, and I think they wanted Roman to at least have the belt for over 1,000 days, and he's at 956.
Yeah, a lot of people said that too.
So I think that was part of it.
I thought it was a hell of a match, though. I mean, I did. I thought they put on a real good match. Yeah. I thought both of them looked real good. It didn't bother me. My son was upset. It was funny. It kind of made it. I ain't gonna lie. It kind of made it a little better just because to see his reaction.
Yeah, he said he wasn't upset, but his face was bright red.
But no, I thought they put on a real good match. I thought Cody was going to win going in. So it did surprise me a little bit, but really, I think if the Usos would have won too, then I would have probably said, "Hey, okay, one of them needed to lose."
Yeah.
But with at least the Usos losing the belts, taking the belts from the Bloodline, the tag belts, it didn't bother me as much as Roman kept it because they're going to keep this just to keep the story going.
Right.
And some of the fans out there, I know they've announced for tonight. Cody's going to be taking on Roman and Solo in a tag match and is going to have a surprise partner. So I'm wondering who's going to show up. Chris had a good idea. He said Randy Orton.
Yeah, Randy Orton. That's what I'm hearing too.
I'd say Randy Orton. If it's not Randy, the only other one I could really think of, they might throw in there would be Braun Breaker.
But you know what? more I thought about, I don't know if they'd throw Braun Breaker in there tonight after we'll just. I hate to say it, after stuff that happened with his dad over the weekend.
Yeah, that's.
Did
you hear about that, Marcus?
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think that should affect him, but you know how it works. So, I mean that could end up affecting Braun some.
Yeah, it could. I mean, it definitely could.
And Anthony Price, I was surprised with that too. He said, "Why the Street Profits keep winning?" I thought they was breaking up. I was kind of surprised they won too because I thought they were going to go in the direction of them breaking up.
Yep. Well, that'd been the rumor, but
I did win.
Yeah,
I had the most right over both nights.
Yep, he was the winner
on predictions
out of about 7, 8, 9 people.
People were
I didn't do real good.
Because they thought Sheamus should have won, so he could be a Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, there was some people. There was a guy that's on Busted Open chat room, and we agree on a lot of things. But man, he really got upset because he was mad because Sheamus lost. He was mad because Bianca won. He was mad because Edge won. He didn't like any of the decisions that they made. He thought that night was a 3. I said, come on, a 3? I said, that's a lot better than a 3. I said, a 7 or something, but not a 3. I mean, just because, there was one thing I didn't like about that night in a match. I told Chris about it. I didn't like it. The Ronda and Shayna match where Ronda was only in the ring for about 20 seconds and comes in and get the finish. I didn't care for that.
That's why it was putting up. I didn't like the women tag 4-way.
Yeah, I didn't care much for that either, really.
It was fine until that
honestly, I think that was probably the weakest match of the week.
I think it was the weakest one. And I think a lot of it was because of that. I tell you, I liked the Asuka Bianca match, and the reason I liked it was because it was so much different than the other women's title match. It was a completely different match. It was a lot quicker match, which hardly either one of them ever got any control of each other.
It was all back and forth.
A lot of back and forth. So I liked it. They booked it different.
The only thing I didn't care about the Asuka Bianca is they did all those finishing moves and kicked out, and the very end should have been a kick out move, and she got the pin with it.
Yeah.
I thought, that should have been the one that you kicked out of and lost. It's like they had their moves out of order.
Glenn said, did Ronda need to win? No, I don't think so.
Nope.
Damien, we're going to get to that match. He's upset about the Hell in the Cell match.
Well, me and Tony talked a little bit about that this morning.
You have
because because he had said night 2 was good. The only thing I hate was the Hell in the Cell match, and he said that he hated that the refs paused the Hell in the pause.
If you've seen the injury. Because it pissed me off, too. It's like it's a Hell in a Cell match. You're supposed to have that. But if you've seen that injury, I showed it to Tony.
Yeah, I've seen it.
That guy Finn had a gash probably 10 inches long.
Yeah, they had to check on him.
They had to check on him, and they had to have staples. I mean,
So I agree this morning.
You got to make sure you ain't got a concussion. They had to do what they had to do. I mean, and I thought they did a pretty good job of Edge grabbing stuff and doing the best he could under a tough situation.
Mm-hmm.
It did affect the match a little bit.
Yeah, it
but I still thought it was a real good Hell in a Cell match.
It hurt the match. There's no doubt about it.
I agree.
But it was still good. It would have been a better match.
And my first reaction was
the match was supposed to go longer too.
Yeah, my first reaction was, man, they should just let him keep going. That's perfect for a Hell in a Cell match. But then, especially when I saw the cut, I was like, well, they done the right thing.
Yeah, you got to.
You know what I liked about that is when Edge had him over in that corner with those kendo sticks and pushed and pinned him up in that corner by putting him in the and had him stuck over there. I thought that is fantastic. It's like
Marcus, they had a show. Ring of Honor had a show. I'm going to go off. They had a show this weekend. There's 2 twins. Somebody out there probably can help me with the names. I always
Anthony said night 2. Said Damien night 2 was bad. Hey, everybody has their own opinion. I didn't think it was bad.
I didn't think it was as good as
I didn't think it was as strong as night 1.
I mean, because Okay, people are going to say Brock and the Ronda match, first two wasn't as strong as the first two of night one, and I agree with that 100%. But then you had Sheamus and Drew and Gunther, as you know, could be argued as strong as any match on the show. Either should not. I mean, I'm not saying it was, but it was right there. And then you had Asuka and Bianca was a solid match. You had Edge and Finn, which was solid. Yes, you had that issue that I heard it, no doubt. The Shane and Miz thing was goofy and got messed up, but the Roman and Cody match was very good. But I agree, the flow, and I think those two injuries really hurt the flow of the show. Night one had a lot better flow.
Yeah, night one, I don't know, it just seemed so smooth. It just like flowed through, where last night seemed more choppy, which the injuries, I mean, injuries affected a lot. I mean, when you're doing live TV and you get two back-to-back injuries like that, I think they handled it pretty well for the most part.
If I was going to give it a rating, I think night one to me was probably a strong 9, and I would give night two.
I'd probably give night 2 an 8. 7.
I was going to say a 7.5 or 8.
I was going to say about 7.
Yeah, so close. The flow hurt it. I think if the flow would have been better, it could have been up there at 8, 8.5. But the flow, the flow was off a little bit.
Yeah, almost did do most of the work of that match when it came to. But
well, you say
I was surprised there because I thought Omos would win, but that match was about, like I said, it's about what I expected. It's actually a little better than what I expected.
Well, that one belly to back that
Brock
hit. The second one, man, he got all that one. The first one he didn't get. He didn't get too
much.
The
other two looked real good,
especially that second one. No, what I was going to say is,
whoa, Davian, that was a good match, but if you want to say it was better, you can say it's better, but it wasn't way better than Charlotte and Rhea. I think Charlotte and Rhea was better, but
there's no.
But if you want to say Austin Bianca was better,
way better. No, if you like it better, that's fine. But
way better.
Say way better. There's no way I'd ever go with that.
I like that move Ricochet did too, jumping off that. Let me go back to my notes. When he jumped out on everybody, the shooting star.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Staying in the corner where they piled them all up, and the two big guys got up under there, and then Ricochet jumped over the top all of them.
Yeah, that was different.
Well, what about Dawkins' partner knocking the heck out of Strowman? Remember when they come around and how Strowman was doing the training?
Oh yeah.
And then he came out and knocked the crap out of him, and that was hadn't seen that before really. So I thought they did. That match was very well done.
Yeah, I think in the corner, Mark was talking about it. That was cool because it was something different. I hadn't seen nothing like that before. That takes a lot of moving parts. You're putting a lot of trust that the guys hold you up.
No, there's a couple of twins that wrestle for AEW, and they do all the crazy moves, and they wrestle on the card of Ring of Honor, and they set up real close to the ring. Last name's Martin. I think it's Dante, and I think his brother's Darius. You want to see this, Marcus? It's horrible. He did a flip out of the ring. They had the tables too close. I think it was one of the Lucha brothers went through the tables, but he missed the tables and came down. And you remember Sid Vicious's leg?
Yeah.
Got broke. That's the way his leg got broke. It was bad. And I'm like, why are you even doing this? What are you doing? Why are we doing these moves?
What was it? Didn't Finn Balor go through one of those tables? Straight down through with his feet, top rope.
Yep.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Everybody brought up Jim Cornette in the heated shenanigans. That here, blow your knees out like Cornette did, because
of course Cornette was up. That's true, but Cornette was up 30 feet.
Let me guess, Damon, you thought Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins was a great 10 out of 10 match. I thought it was a pretty good match. I wouldn't
say it was 10 out of 10, but I thought it was a strong match.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it was good.
One little complaint I had about night one was during the Rey Mysterio and Dom match.
Yeah,
the damn cinnamon toast crunch stuff all over the ring the whole time during that match. I don't know, for some reason it bugged me.
Well, they took in $21.
No, well, I understand that, but
they took in $21 million of sponsorship for this WrestleMania, double what they had took in before.
Oh no, it just bugged me over. It's like it don't make no damn sense to see all this cinnamon toast crunch.
I know. I don't disagree with you, but that's the world we live in now.
No, yeah, well, I understand it.
Hey, somebody comes up here and offers you $1 million to put cinnamon toast crunch on
See,
your chest.
it'd be right in the middle, right here.
Right. You wouldn't even be able to see Marcus. He'd be so toast crunch. So don't.
I'd be over here like this. Well, I'd be more like this, so I could see around the corner.
Hey, they're gonna give me that kind of. I'll put it where they want. I understand that. I'm just saying that it did. I don't know. It just for some reason it kept catching my eye, but it just bothered me a little bit. And I really liked that match from the entrances and everything. I loved all the tributes to Eddie, even during the match when Ray would do his stuff. I did. I thought that. And like Marcus said earlier, when him and Snoop came out in the lowriders,
it was awesome.
That was awesome.
And then Eddie had to climb up all them steps so he come down the ramp.
Yeah,
they had some good entrances. I liked the Seth Rollins with the conductor out there. I thought that was neat. I thought the coming out doing the bloodline with the pianos. I thought that was interesting. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, see, Glenn, that's another good point. He said, "Yeah, cereal sponsorship for a father versus son match." And that's what I was telling Dad.
No point there, Glenn.
What was it? I think it was Friday night when they were showing the replay of Ray hitting Dom.
Yeah.
And I told Dad, I said, professional wrestling is the only place you'll ever hear people cheering a dad hitting the son.
Yeah.
Any other time the guy be getting crucified. Ray hits Dom, the place explodes.
Oh, yeah, it did too.
That story's going, and it's going to get better too, because now they're going to go to Puerto Rico and they're going to do something.
Well, I think it's going to be the Latino World Order. They're going to do something with that there. So
I did like when he brought back the Latino World Order. I thought that was cool. I'm gonna order me one of them shirts.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty strong. Do you think it was better than last year's?
I think it was a little bit better.
I don't think the flow was as good. I think probably match quality was. If you go through the top 6, 7, 8 matches, I think we're probably better.
Well, if you remember, last year's WrestleMania was right after COVID. Wasn't that their first actual main arena? People in the stands, but they were still social distancing, wasn't it? Or was that the year before?
No, it was the year before, because the year before was Florida, and they had the big storm.
Okay.
Yeah. Last year was the first WrestleMania since COVID where it was no restrictions.
Yep. What was the main event last year?
Roman,
had to be Roman and who?
Roman and Brock.
Okay.
And that main event wasn't near as good as this main event.
And then you had Stone Cold and Kevin Owens.
Oh yes. And you had Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn. That's right. I skipped a year.
I think this year's was a little bit better, but I thought last year's was good too.
Yeah, it was really good.
Because I'll be honest, especially night one. Night one, it had me the whole night. I was like, now night two, like I said, the flow was a little off, but I think it was the injuries.
You can see
was the bit. I think the injuries, and I do kind of agree in Austin in a way. I think if they'd have started to show off with a different match besides Brock and Omos.
What one would you went with? He thought it should have been Hell in a Cell.
No,
that's what Austin. Women's match.
It almost have to be.
It was pretty fast paced.
I don't know. Yeah, I would say probably the women. I'd probably say the women's.
Yeah, I would too.
Because if you start off with the Intercontinental Championship match, you're setting everybody else up for failure.
Yeah, because that was because those guys were beating the hell out of each other.
I think if you had like the women's match, it might have got the crowd a little more fired up that first match going into the rest of the show.
Yeah,
but Intercontinental Championship match, man. Them guys, and I knew it was going to be good, but them guys beat the crap out of each other. Who fights better, McAfee, Gronk? Oh, McAfee's better. McAfee's better than when it goes to that. Yeah. Billy said, if you guys could think back, which WrestleMania do you like the best?
Well, he's going to talk about some old school stuff. You guys want to go ahead and click to that? Anything else you guys want to talk about this WrestleMania? One thing I did want there's two things I want to touch on real quick. Also, Bushwhacker Butch died today.
Yeah, I seen that.
Just heard that a little bit ago. And then also, I don't know if you've heard this, Marcus. You may have seen it because you see some Facebook stuff. But last night I watched the press conference and Triple H was on there and he mentioned the dance group that came out with Bianca, the little girl that did the contortion and stuff. And then she danced with Bianca. Her mother had passed away that morning. And she still did the show. So they definitely send prayers out to their family and also to Bushwhacker Luke losing probably a real good friend and also Butch's family. So that's a horrible
team.
Oh yeah. I mean, of course, as the very popular as the Bushwhackers, but then again, we've talked about before. Marcus, help me out with the name. I'm forgetting it right now.
Sheepherders, the New Zealand Sheepherders.
Yes, and they were rough.
Yeah, I really liked the Bushwhackers. She really enjoyed them guys.
We were big fans of
Austin and my son Jeff. Man, they loved them. So yeah, as kids.
Were they one of the few tag teams that were over both ways so much because they were way over. I mean, they were over as heels real good, and then when they came WWE as Bushwhackers, they were over as as face.
That shows you what kind of performers those guys was to go from heels to a comedy act per se.
Yeah,
and I mean, and they were the vicious,
bloodthirsty, bloodthirsty, yeah. And then the turnaround.
You see them on the cover of Pro Wrestling Illustrated or a picture, it had blood in it. They were bleeding, and the person they was wrestling bleeding. I don't think they wrestled matches without blood back then.
Justin Danger said he worked the show with them.
Yes.
That's all right.
So what did he ask about WrestleMania?
Which WrestleMania did you like the best?
Of all the WrestleManias?
Yeah, but before that, out of the entrances this weekend, which entrance was your favorite?
Well, it's tough because I really liked Ray's, but I really love Dom's too.
Yeah, I agree.
And Bianca's was good too.
Yeah, Bianca's was good, but I liked Edge's too.
Edge's was good.
Yeah, he come out with that like somebody said he headbutted a disco ball.
Yeah,
with that glass mask, but
yeah,
because somebody wasn't sure that he was even under that.
Yeah,
they were wondering if somebody else was under that.
At first, I thought it was going to be like Gangrel under that, and then Edge was going to come out.
Well,
there was a lot of rumors Gangrel was going to be there, but it didn't happen.
Scott Storm, Scott Hewlett, he had heard that they had. It's like I said, it's rumors that he had heard that Christian. They had contracted for Christian to come over, and they really thought Christian was going to show up for the Edge match. And then they thought that Cody was going to win and Dustin Rhodes was going to show up. That's just the rumor he heard. That isn't what, of course, obviously didn't happen. But
I know Dustin said in a promo last Monday night, he said, my dad's not coming back. He said, Dustin works for another company. He's not going to be in my corner. He's not going to be here. It's going to be me against you, Roman. I mean, he made sure that. Well, tell everybody.
Another thing that I thought was cool was Cody Rhodes having Brody's son there.
Yeah, Brody.
And went over and gave him the belt.
Yeah.
And
Brody Jr., yeah.
Yeah, he had him sitting up. He was over there with Cody's family.
Yeah. Give him his belt. And I guess he's been real close to the family. Well, I guess when his dad died, Brody or Cody was there and taking care of the boy.
Okay, now who is that? Because I wasn't familiar with that.
You remember the guy Luke Harper in WWE?
Yeah.
That
was his son?
That was his son. Yeah,
I was not aware of that. Okay. Now I know.
He went by Brody Lee in AEW.
Okay, now I get I get it now.
Yeah, and he was sitting over there with Cody's family. But yeah, I read something where his mom was talking about how much Cody's done, how much Cody's done for the boy, and how much time that Cody spends with the boy.
Yeah.
She was giving Cody a lot of praise for everything he's done. But yeah, I thought that was cool. Pretty cool moment.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, Kelly. Yeah, the little girl's mom passed away that morning. Little girl danced with Bianca.
Yep. Yeah, I said
When she done that roll through and just kept going, I was like, oh.
Yeah. She wasn't very old.
No.
What do you think? Maybe
Yeah.
6?
I would go 8 tops.
Yeah, I was gonna say 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there.
But I'll tell you what.
What did you think of Charlotte Flair's robe? I didn't like it. I didn't like that. It looked like a damn winter. It looked like them big puff winter coats.
Yeah,
I really didn't care for the robe.
I wasn't a huge fan of it either.
You gotta give kudos to Kelly. She stayed up for the entire night 2 of WrestleMania.
Did you?
Right here with me. Yeah, she did. And then she watched most of the other one with me the next morning. So from WrestleMania 1, we watched it Sunday morning. So, and we watched the Hall of Fame, and our granddaughter was over here for that because she was supposed to go with us over to Lebanon, but that didn't work out. So we watched the Hall of Fame.
Glenn said it looked like a taped up bunch of black hefty bags.
Well, John Cena was there. It could have been. Everybody said that John Cena should have got a little of that brown spray paint or whatever and sprayed that spot in the back of his head. I've been reading that today too. Everybody that bald spot.
Yeah, I thought it was overall. I thought it was a pretty good WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I think it was a little bit better than last year, but
yeah,
I'm ready. I'm not gonna lie. I'm ready to see Raw tonight.
Yeah,
and see what happens because Raw after Mania is always good.
Well, they said Triple H he's opening the show with an announcement. I hope it's not his resignation. I'm worried, because Vince is back on UFC. Yes, that, and Vince is back on the board. They have
porn star mustache look, yeah.
But they did, yeah, that's crazy. But they did announce Vince said that Triple H would still be ahead of creative. So I'm hoping that's true. But I know Triple H is going to make an announcement at the start of tonight, start the show off.
Honestly, I think I can't remember what they're called now, but the company that owns UFC that bought Endeavor.
Yep.
All the rumors, people that was going to buy, I think this might be the best one.
Well, yeah, I would think so too, since they're already in that business.
Well, they got over a $9 billion value out of it. WWE did
and only gave up 50% or whatever.
Yeah,
or
51%.
Yeah, they sell 51% of your company for $9 billion. That's just crazy.
Vince they can say a lot of things about Vince. He's a pretty good businessman. He might be completely crazy.
Well, there's nothing might be. He is.
Yes, he's crazy, might be old, maybe out of touch, but as far as a businessman, you can't put him down as a businessman.
He's $9 million or $9 billion richer today. So,
and then that $1 billion that he got for
and still owns and still it still owns part of the company. That's what's crazy.
Well, he got $1 billion for a 5-year deal with Peacock and still own the WWE network. Just leased it out for 5 years for $1 billion. Just amazing.
And if the new owners want to do it, I guarantee you Peacock's going to sign up for more years.
I would think
because it's helped them grow a bunch. Because a lot of these wrestling fans getting on Peacock, then they see other stuff on Peacock, and they'll start watching that. But I do. I think because what this company's done with UFC when they just bought UFC a couple years ago, Endeavor did. And what they done when they did it, they kept Dana White as the guy running everything. It wasn't like they came in and tried to change everything. So I think with WWE, I don't think they're going to come in and try to change everything. I think you'll see a lot of stuff stay the same. That's why I say I think this was probably the best option. Because I think if Triple H wants to be there, I think they'll keep him in that position.
Well,
now, unless the board with Vince and that stuff changes, but as far as Endeavor, I don't think they're going to come in and just make a bunch of changes because they didn't do that. They didn't do that to UFC when they bought it a few years ago.
Look what they've done since Triple H has come in, man, and the plans they've done and everything they've done. It's just printing money. I mean, they're getting ready to go to Puerto Rico. It's already sold out for SmackDown and for the next pay-per-view. I think the the Money in the Bank in England for July or end of June, whenever that is already sold out. I mean, they're just
Well, look, they had
killing it.
They had over 161,000 people in that stadium this weekend,
And they had a sold out show Friday night.
And
SmackDown.
the crowd was hot both nights. I mean, it wasn't like the crowd was dead. I mean, that place was rocking.
8,000 for NXT on Saturday, and then they're sold out for tonight in that arena that they were in for SmackDown. They sold 15.
They sold it out Friday and night.
Yep. So I mean, they're killing it.
How much merch? How much you think they made just in merch sales over WrestleMania weekend?
Couldn't even imagine.
It's like could you imagine how much they made in merch?
I know they said it was 20. They were up 20% this year from last year for merch. Sponsorship was double this year from last year.
Because I bet you like Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn, KO, the Usos, them guys are cleaning up
Chris,
merch wise.
In California, Latino population,
Mysterio,
them LWO shirts. I'm telling you, I guarantee you that stuff's so crazy.
That Mysterio shirt Austin bought.
Yep.
That shirt. Did you see that shirt? That shirt's
nice.
bad. I wish it didn't get here in time. He bought it to wear for WrestleMania, but it didn't get here in time. But he showed me it. It's pretty sweet. Rey Mysterio. It has like all of his big. It has Ray on the front and it has like all of his bunch of his big moments on the back and
Chris,
dates and stuff.
What do you think about Damien's comment here?
Honestly, I think it's actually going to go the other direction. I was telling you this earlier. I think if this Endeavor's smart, they keep WWE over with Fox and on Peacock, and then you're not on the same network as your UFC stuff. So then you're not competing against each other on the same network. So I don't see everything going over to like ESPN just because of that. To me, for Endeavor, if you're a company, if I can work with this network with this company and I can do these other networks, well, then I'm getting a control over the whole market,
especially your TV show.
Yeah, you're seeing the whole different market than just
you're streaming. You might see Peacock go after UFC. For streaming. I'm not talking about the TV shows. They may stay on Fox or and USA for the TV shows, but the streaming service, they may do separate deals, or they could try to get on. So I mean, UFC would be a big get for, and the fact that ESPN sounds like they're in trouble. They're laying people.
ESPN's laying. They're laying Disney and ESPN, which owns ESPN. They're laying over like 5,000-6,000 people off.
Yeah. So
it'll be interesting to see what happens. But like I said, I don't think you're going to see a bunch of big changes. I'm just going by the history of what Endeavor did when they bought UFC, because I'm a big UFC fan. I watch almost all their pay-per-views. If we're not at a wrestling show and there's a UFC, I'm watching UFC, and they didn't make a lot of changes. It was pretty much stayed about the same. It wasn't like a wholesale of changes. So, and sometimes you bring in new people, they can change stuff so much that it hurts you more than it helps.
Okay, you want to talk a little old school? Okay, I got a list here. This is Bleacher Report's top 10 WrestleManias. See what you guys think of this. Number 10, they had WrestleMania 22. That was on a couple of the matches on that was Vince versus Shawn and Cena versus Triple H. Their number 9 was 23, WrestleMania 23. That was Cena and HBK, and that's also Lashley and Humonga when Vince got his hair cut. That was their number 9. Their number 8 was WrestleMania 14. That had Undertaker and Kane and Austin versus HBK. Number 7 was WrestleMania 20, Triple H and HBK versus Triple Threat versus Chris Benoit. Was the main.
Right. It was Triple H, Eddie, and Benoit. No, it was Shawn, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Shawn, Triple H, and Ed, Benoit, and Eddie took on Kurt Angle.
Yep. Their number 6 was 18, WrestleMania 18, Rock and Hogan, and also had Jericho versus Triple H. Number 5 was 21. It was WrestleMania 21, Angle and HBK, Triple H and Batista. Was the other main event. Number 4 on their list was WrestleMania 10, HBK versus Razor, ladder match. Also had Owen and Brett, and also Brett and Yokozuna. Number 3 was their Their number 3 was WrestleMania 3. Of course, Andre and Hogan and Steamboat and Savage. Their number 2 was 19 with Austin and The Rock and Lesnar and Angle. And their number 1 was WrestleMania 17. We had Dudley, the Dudleys and the Hardys and Edge and Christian TLC, and they had Austin and The Rock. That was their list. I've got a list, but I didn't put them in order. I couldn't put them in order.
They don't have the one with Shawn and Taker?
What year was that? Shawn and Taker.
Or Shawn and Flair?
Let me see here, because I've got a list here with some of them.
I'm trying to remember what year, but that Shawn, I mean when Shawn and Flair basically supposed to be Flair's retirement match.
Yeah.
I want to say that was 24.
Say that pretty loosely, but
Yeah.
I always like. I really like. I like that WrestleMania. That was always up there.
I think that might have been 24.
I thought the Shawn and Taker that year was pretty good.
Shawn and Taker was 25 and 26.
Okay. What was your list?
My list of my top ones were, and I didn't put them in order, but the ones I liked, of course, 3. It was the first big one. Also, WrestleMania 10 at 24. I had WrestleMania 17, 19, 21, 14, and then some of the newer ones. I had 30. That's when Daniel Bryan won the belt. I really liked it.
That was a good one.
35, Kofi Mania. I really enjoyed that one. And then the last 2 I really liked, 38 and 39. That's what I had on my list.
3 is right up there for me because that's one of the. It's really like one of the first WrestleMania, like the first one I remember watching. I remember me, you, Grandpa, everybody all watching this. That's one of the first ones I remember watching.
Also, honorable mention, you got to give WrestleMania 1 some credit.
Pretty sure it was 3. Because was that one was at Steve's house?
I think so. Yep.
Because he had the satellite.
Yep.
He had the satellite.
I think so. 1, you got to give credit to just the fact that he had the balls to put up the money and try something different.
Well, didn't he start WWE basically with $1 million, and now he just sold half of it for $9 billion?
Yeah, he bought the company off his dad for $1 million in
1982-ish.
82.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
It just sold 51% of it for $9 billion. That's crazy.
You know what? If he's crazy, I wouldn't mind being crazy.
Hey, the crazy paid off, I tell you.
Yeah. Hey, he built. I mean, hell, he changed. I mean, he changed the whole wrestling business.
What was some of your favorite matches?
It went from territorial to global. There's Austin. We've tried to give him a couple. We've tried to get. That's my son. We've tried to give him a couple on the show tonight.
His top 5 is 17, 22, 30, 37, and 38. He ain't gonna put 39 out there because he's still mad about Cody losing. If Cody would have won, it'd been number 1.
The one with Daniel Bryan, I would definitely agree with that. Like I said, the ones with Flair and Michaels, and then Michaels and Taker, I always like those. I'm trying to think. What else? Did you have any, Marcus?
As actual full WrestleManias, no. I have matches I loved.
Okay, what about
full WrestleManias? Well, I loved all of WrestleMania 1 because it was the kickstart through the gate. I didn't care for the main event because Mr. T should never been brought in for that crap. But they did that because it was the Rock and Wrestling Connection and you had to have them celebrities.
Yep.
And Mr. T basically held his own, even though he about sabotaged the whole thing. I don't know if you know the story behind that, but he showed up the day of WrestleMania, I guess, with a ton of people, and they wouldn't let him in. So he said, all right, we'll just leave. And Hogan had to basically beg him to come back. 2 was terrible.
Yep.
Because they had it on a Tuesday, 3 different cities. They had to bring in the Chicago Bears to fill in because everybody's all over the country.
Yep.
It was one of them where Pollendorf's in the main event at 1 and then opens up 2.
Yeah.
But the Bundy and Hogan cage match was a main event. But then look what Bundy did in 3. Steamboat, Steamboat and Savage still is the best WrestleMania match ever, in my opinion. And then, of course, Hogan slammed Andre. Savage wins at 4 to win the world title. 5 was just there because we all know Hogan was going to take it back. Warrior and Hogan was good at the time. And then what was 7? Oh, 7, I like Warrior and Savage in the retirement match. That was headlined by Hogan and Sergeant Slaughter, but I really liked Savage and Ultimate Warrior in that retirement match. And then Elizabeth came out and saved him from being kicked around by Sherry.
Yep, that's great storytelling.
8 was in Indy. I wasn't there, and I still think it's like one of the top worst ones that they've had, honestly.
But it had you're right. But I think wasn't that where I don't disagree with that. But they had I think it was there where Brett took on Piper.
Yeah, Brett and Piper was good.
That's one of my favorite WrestleMania matches. I really like that match.
But that should have been Flair and Hogan as the main event, and it
should have been.
Yeah, and if you remember, Savage.
But you know what? You say that, and on that bleacher list, they had that WrestleMania as an honorable mention as one of the best.
Really? Maybe it's because it should have been Flair and Hogan, and yeah. And remember, Flair was supposed to have an affair with Elizabeth, and
yeah.
Do you think we'll get another WrestleMania in Indianapolis?
No.
So I'm surprised we haven't. I thought once they built Lucas Oil, we'd get one.
I think the only way would be if we get the Royal Rumble, and it's just with everything being close and so centrally located, and if it goes really well, I think that'd be our only chance. But we got to get SummerSlam long time ago.
Was that in Indy?
Yep.
Did they have a Survivor Series in Indy?
Not that I'm not saying they didn't, but
I'm not sure.
But they had a WrestleMania that flopped, I feel. But if they do well with Royal Rumble, yeah, I see maybe in 5 years that they can bring a WrestleMania in.
I guess there was a Survivor Series in 2012.
Yep.
So they've had, if they have Royal Rumble, that's 3 of the 4 major ones.
Might have a shot.
I thought they did, but I wasn't sure.
I wasn't sure.
So
since they changed the format of the Survivor Series so much, it's not one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Oh no, I missed the old style Survivor Series pay-per-views.
And then I like 9, except for the ending. Hogan taking the belt off Yokozuna pissed me off to this day. I mean, I was a Hogan mark, but Brett took it off, or Yoko took it off Brett, and then turned around and dropped it to Hogan. Oh man, I was mad. Probably like your son was that Cody didn't win. It's like, why did you put that belt back on Hogan?
Austin says his favorite WrestleMania match ever is Shawn versus Kurt.
Yeah, I've got down.
You can't. Yeah, that's a good one.
I've got some matches and some moments that I've got down here. Moment wise, I've got Kofi Mania 35. I thought that was a great run for Kofi. The Daniel Bryan, all that run all the way up to 30, I thought was great. I thought a moment that I really enjoyed last year was Stone Cold and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that was very good.
It was so fun.
Yep.
Another one that I would never, if you'd have told me I'd have said this, I really thought I was going to hate the match. Hated they was doing it. Not a Jackass fan. I love that Jackass match. I thought it was hilarious. I was super, super entertained.
Me and my son are Jackass fans, so he's not a wrestling fan anymore, but he really enjoyed that, especially the big hand slap.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And the mousetrap. And
I really enjoyed that.
Glenn said at that Survivor Series, the Shield, or I think he's talking about the Survivor Series, but the Shield came out that night and put Ryback and Cena through the table.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought there was a Survivor Series, but like I said, so if you get Royal Rumble, then you got 3 of the major 4. So then all you would need would be a.
And some of my favorite matches here, I had The Rock and Austin at 17. Of course, I had the TLC at 17. Hogan and Andre at 3. I know it wasn't necessarily a great match, but if that don't happen,
Well, the moment.
if it don't happen, I don't know. That was really, I mean, 1 and 2 set things up, but especially 1. But 3, that happening and that big crowd and everything, that pretty much set the stage for WrestleMania's to go forward. So I think, and that was, everybody was talking about Hogan and Andre. People that wasn't even wrestling fans were talking about.
That was on the news that night.
Yes.
Yeah, that moment was just so big.
Of course, the Shawn and Undertaker matches, 25, 26, Steamboat and Savage. Yeah, I you said it was your favorite match. I can't argue. I mean, it was right there. Again, I had down Brett and Piper, one of my favorites. I really enjoyed. Of course, the Shawn and Razor ladder match because it started something. Brett and Owen, WrestleMania 10.
Not only did it start something, I still think it's one. I still think it's one of the best ladder matches.
I do too.
Simple.
That's what I told Dad. I think they get too many ladders down.
Get a little carried away.
Yeah, didn't they just have one for that one? Just one. Yeah.
Yep. Shawn and Brett at 12. Brett and Stone Cold at 13. And then another one. There was several I could take off 38, 39. But I was really impressed with the match last night or Saturday night with Flair and Rhea. It may be the best women's match I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's the best women's match I think I've ever seen.
It was just so.
It was good.
It was so physical, and their facial expressions.
And
just off the charts.
Well, Flair sold that. Flair was selling the hell out of stuff too.
Yeah, she sold.
Rhea's great. Rhea's great selling too.
But like Austin said, Charlotte sells when she wants to sell, and she's one of the best sellers. But she don't sell for everybody. She sold her ass off Saturday night.
She fact that she was happy that Rhea took it and the respect.
I think she genuinely happy for Rhea. Also, that's why I think they even made it better just because.
Does Puerto Rico have a stadium big enough to do WrestleMania?
I don't know.
That would be the key. I don't think we'll see them go back to 20,000, 25,000.
If somebody, I'll tell you what, if Toronto has a big enough stadium,
Toronto does. They've had them in Toronto before.
Or not Toronto. Where'd they have that one last one in Montreal?
Montreal. I don't know. I don't know if they. For what's the name's from? Sammy.
Yeah, but I can't remember what pay-per-view that was now. Elimination Chamber. I don't know if they have a big enough. Because dude, them fans are crazy. If you got 80,000 of them in
England, definitely.
Or England,
England, they can,
because that SummerSlam '92 was it?
And then they just had that show over in Wales that did.
70,000. Definitely.
Daniel Flair and Rhea was way better than
Daniel. I haven't seen you for a while.
Yeah, I hadn't seen Daniel for a while either. Probably see him on the 15th, I would say.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody come and told me they thought Rhea's match was the best match of the weekend, I wouldn't argue. If somebody told me they liked last night's main event, I wouldn't argue. I mean, there was a lot of matches there that I could see might be somebody else's cup of tea because there was 4 or 5 matches on there that was really great.
And that's what kind of sucks because everybody's focusing on that Cody lost, and I think that match isn't getting the credit of how good a match it was because that's what everybody's talking about is that Cody lost. I thought them two put on a hell of a show.
I did too. I thought Cody I thought everything went perfect in that match. I thought Heyman everything was perfect in that match.
Paul Heyman's great. his facial expressions and just the stuff he does.
Yeah, that guy's a genius.
Austin's top 5 moments: Kofi winning, Bryan winning. Edge spraying Jeff from ladder. Yeah, that was good. Sean's retirement match against Taker.
That's a good one, Seth.
And Seth cashing in.
That is a great moment.
What they call that, the heist of the century or something?
Yeah, that was Kofi winning. Didn't he had to go through all that crap to even get to that point.
Yep. Well, the same thing with Daniel Bryan. He had to win a match to get
to the main event.
To get to the main event.
Yep.
Well, with Bryan, that was kind of forced by the fans because if Bryan wouldn't have been the main event that night, there's probably going to be some riots.
Let me see if anyone of you agree with this. This guy wrote on that Busted Open site I go to that because of what happened to Cody losing, that the Raw fans are going to boo all night tonight.
Well, I heard they're going to riot. That's what I heard.
I don't. You just want to riot.
I want to be in the building. I don't want to watch it on TV.
I don't think so. I think there's too much good things. They're not going to boo when Owens and come out.
Yeah.
There's too much. Rhea comes out. They're not going to boo. There's too much good things that happen.
You know what? Here's the funny thing. Everybody, all these people that's mad and complaining, guess what? They're going to be watching tonight. I mean, you know what I mean? They're going to watch tonight to see if fans are booing, to see what the reaction is. So,
well, it's hard. Like Walter, he was so upset.
People forget that. That's what the WWE, or not just WWE, the wrestling business. They don't care if you're cheering them or if you're booing them. They just want a reaction.
Yeah, they want.
Yeah. If they're getting a reaction from you, they're doing their job.
100% right.
So I mean, like the Hills. If the Hills aren't getting, if you're not getting booed or you're not getting cheered, then that's when something's wrong. As long as you're getting a reaction, look how much reaction you've got over WrestleMania.
What a riot!
Billy says he's with Marcus. He want he want a riot. Yeah. Good.
Friday would have been a good night at the Deb. I couldn't get anybody to start it. Bruce was way in the back, so I couldn't get him to start any riots up. And
Glenn said, "You know that's right. Put asses in every 18 inches." And let's see. Oh, right here, Austin. 3 main women matches in the last 3 WrestleMania are probably the top 3 women matches of all time.
Yeah, I don't disagree with
main
that.
Women matches, yes, I agree.
Yep. But I think Rhea and Charlotte was the best one.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think Austin probably agrees with that too.
It was. He's not a big Charlotte fan.
Well, he's. I don't know if that's the order, but those are the 3 matches he was talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rhea and Charlotte, I thought was awesome, and a lot of people thought that. A lot of people saying that match was going to be boring, wasn't going to be no good.
Somebody on there said it was boring, and I don't know what they watched.
I don't know if you watched that match and thought it was boring. I don't know. You're hard to entertain.
I know what I was going to say. It's hard for me to feel bad for Walter getting so upset about that.
All right, cool, Dan. Right, that's cool, Daniel. He said,
"Look forward to it."
Walter is also the same guy who's upset and demanding for the Insane Clown Posse, the Insane Clown Posse, to be put in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Didn't you know he's a juggalo?
I don't care if he's a gigolo. I don't know what he is. The Insane Clown Posses don't deserve to be in the.
They did do something with WWE.
Yeah, they did. But they was part of the what was that crazy group? The Odysseys.
I could see him maybe getting in the celebrity thing or something. I'm not saying they should get in like now and get. There's a lot of people that should be getting in before you.
I don't think it'll ever happen.
I don't know. I don't think it'll ever happen. I'm just I can see it maybe, but no, I don't think because he was mad because he was mad because somebody got in before the ICP over the weekend. Was it that Kaufman?
Probably Kaufman. So Andy
Kaufman should have been in it years ago. He went into the Hall of Fame almost 40 years after that happened.
Yeah, the only
People
person
are still talking about that.
And I think the reason they're not in is because they don't want to be in, and that's Cyndi Lauper. That's just my opinion.
I think she should be in there too.
She should have been in a long time ago.
You hear her name a lot about being in there.
I think she should be in, definitely.
No, I thought Kaufman should have been in there.
Now, I didn't have a problem with Stacy Keibler going in. I thought there was other women that deserved to go in before her.
Who'd you think?
Just my opinion.
Who do you think? They think Victoria over on Heated Shenanigans should be one that should be in there.
Victoria, and there's others. Not Jacqueline, but
Jacqueline's
other
already
girl.
in.
She wrestled in. Yeah, but I was just not Jacqueline, but there's another girl. She wrestled in ECW, and she also wrestled WWE. I can't think of her name right now. Somebody help me out there. She's also a black woman, but she was very good. She wrestled a lot in ECW.
Not Mickey Austin.
Is
Mickey in?
Mickey's not in yet.
Not yet.
He might be. Might be saying Mickey.
Jazz.
Yeah, Jazz.
I think she deserves to be in. And there's others.
Damian Mongo should not be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Mondo McMichael, is that who he's talking about?
Yeah. They didn't put Lex Luger in from the Four Horsemen. They're not gonna put Mongo in from the Four
Mongo. He don't have you. He don't deserve to be a Dolphin.
You think
Oh,
you
man.
think Luger will ever go in?
I don't know. There's a lot of controversy there.
I mean, since they did that documentary and everything, you see they're doing Dusty Rhodes next Sunday.
Yeah, I've got to get caught up on those too.
I think he is in it. Is Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
I think so. I think he's in the
I thought he
celebrity
was.
wing. I think
Yeah,
so.
he's in.
I thought he was because Billy said if Pete Rose can't be in the Baseball Hall of Fame, put Pete in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. But
I think he's
I'm
in the
pretty
Wrestling
sure. Yeah, I
Hall of
was
Fame.
gonna say he is.
in too.
Should put Mongo's pet Chihuahua.
Because I
in the
think
Hall of Fame.
Jim Jacobs is the one that inducted him.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you're right. 'Cause I'm a big Pete Rose guy.
Yep.
When Pete Rose inducted Bobby Heenan, I think, or he inducted somebody.
He
Maybe he went in with Bobby Heenan.
He went in with Heenan.
Because Heenan says, just so everybody knows, I bet on wrestling, and then went over and shook Pete Rose's hand.
Yeah. And he was losing it. There's a lot of great speeches, Hall of Fame speeches. I think Heenan's the greatest.
Between him and the Undertaker's, yes.
Yes, the Undertaker was very good, but they were very different. Heenan was he was just so happy to be anywhere because he'd been battling cancer, and it was great.
Davis said, "Chris, you know what? Pat McAfee shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame either." Laughing out loud. He'll be in the Hall of Fame. He'll be in WWE Hall of Fame before Mongo.
Will be.
Yeah.
He'll be in he'll be at least in the Celebrity Hall of Fame one day. I bet.
Oh yeah, I think he'll be one day. He will, especially if he keeps doing stuff with them, because he's good. He's good in the ring.
Yep.
I want Val Venus and his talent in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Billy said I didn't know that. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, he at least he's in one Hall of Fame. Pete Rose.
Yep.
He'll get in the Baseball Hall of Fame after he dies.
Once he dies, they'll put him in. That's goofy, but they will.
I might, and honestly, that might be what they do with Lex Luger. I hate to say it, but that might be when Lex Luger gets in.
I think Elizabeth ought to be in there too, but I don't know if that'll
I
ever
agree.
happen.
Yeah, I think Elizabeth.
I agree.
Yeah, she definitely deserves to be.
Because she was the one that trailblazed the ladies, even though she never wrestled.
Owen Hart should be in, but that's because of because of his wife.
His wife won't allow it.
Yeah, but he should be.
Yeah.
But
Now next year's it's in
Philadelphia.
Well, say I didn't hear where it was at next year, so I'm glad you said that.
Philadelphia. Who you think that? I hope they put Tommy Dreamer in.
We were talking about that last night. I think Tommy Dreamer. They think that they should do a lot of the ECW guys since they'll be in Philadelphia.
Jazz would be a good one. Tommy Dreamer
What
and Jazz.
What about Paul Heyman?
Paul Heyman ought to be in it.
Yep.
And they said something about Sandman, and I don't know.
And they've kind of opened the door with Ray still going to continue wrestling. So why not in Philadelphia do Paul Heyman? I think that would be a perfect guy.
Yep, I don't disagree.
Oh yeah, it was Austin says Sabu.
Sabu will be a good one. Is he? He's not in it now, is he?
No, he's not in it.
But he'd be a good one to go in it. Yeah. Jerry Lynn. There's a lot of those guys. Rhino, yeah.
Got some WWE quite a bit.
Mike Awesome. Of course, he's passed, but Taz. Yeah,
Hope they put some more referees in.
Yeah, that was good.
I was gonna say I thought that for Tim White was awesome, and that his brother looks just like him.
Yes. Yeah, he does.
His brother looked just like him.
Joey Morella.
When they first walked out, I was like,
yeah.
Joey Morella, Mike McGurk. I'm just thinking a couple of the referees from the past.
Yeah, Gorilla Monsoon's son. That was Joey Morella.
Yeah, he died in a car wreck.
Damien says Chris Jericho.
Yeah, Chris Jericho. But until he's done with AEW, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I agree. The first undisputed.
The Hebners.
Yeah, the Hebners.
Yeah. And if you go further back, you got like Hickenbottom. I mean, there's a lot of those old guys. Did a lot of those MSA and Philadelphia Spectrum shows.
Some of those guys, though, like Raven, I'm not sure. I'm not sure all the ones that did, but some of them that sued WWE for the head injury stuff will probably never go in.
Well, they say that's why Demolition's not going in because they was part of that head injury issue.
And Demolition deserves to be in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Damon, that's
He's
not going to
supposed to
happen.
be, not Crush. I don't. The only reason they brought Crush in, I
Except
think,
put
is because
ECW
Axe was hurt.
in W Hall of Fame. They had put Benoit.
Why would they have to do that?
Oh, Benoit won't get in.
Benoit will never go into WWE.
No way.
They don't even want to mention his name. So
That'll never happen.
Talent wise,
there's
he did. I mean, he was good enough to be in the Hall of Fame, but the other stuff he's done is going to keep him out of the Hall of Fame.
She didn't do a lot in WWE, but she was one that did a lot in Florida and in WCW. Woman, Chris Benoit's wife. From that end, she deserves to be in.
Well, and then like Eddie Gilbert and Missy Hyatt. There's a bunch of them out there.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand Eddie Booker. Eddie Booker. Eddie did a lot of booking and did a lot of stuff behind the scenes besides of his wrestling. He was very ahead of his game at the time.
What's that referee's name? The one that had Ric Flair's robe and everything.
Blonde hair dude.
If you're going to put refs in, he should be in.
Yep, I can't think of his name right now.
He's refed a bunch of big matches.
They call him Baby Rick.
Yeah, Baby Rick.
But I can't think of his name right now.
Little blonde-haired guy.
Yeah. Charles.
Charles Robinson.
Charles Robinson.
Thanks, Glenn.
Yep, Charles Robinson.
Yeah, I knew it was Charles. I couldn't remember his last name.
I think he should get in.
The guy who refereed the main event last night, Rudy Charles, used to referee for Impact, and he even did some local shows in one of Tommy Gage's matches and a few of them. So,
there's what about Taz?
Yeah, Taz should be in there. I'm a big Taz mark, even before he won.
Okay, they wouldn't put a lot of them in. They would probably only put one, maybe two, at the most. And that would be that's if they put a woman and a guy. Other than that, I don't put one. Who should be the first one, in your opinion? If they're going to put an ECW person in, who would be the first
Paul
one?
Heyman. If Paul Heyman, Tommy Dreamer, that's my top two.
I agree.
Because Bubba Ray and Devon's already in there.
I'm gonna say, yeah. I think you could. If you're going to do that, I think he was in tag team in ECW, but I think Bully Ray could almost be in by himself as well.
Well, he didn't have that big.
He didn't do a whole. That was more in TNA
in Impact.
Yeah, it was
he
more
did
TNA.
some for when they split him up. Devon over to one and Billy Ray.
But he had his biggest run singles wise was what, TNA.
Yeah,
that when he supposedly married Hogan's daughter.
Yeah, they'll never put Douglas in because I know there was a lot of issues between Douglas and WWE. I don't think he did. RVD's already in.
Yeah, he was during COVID.
I'm not naming.
Flair didn't kill nobody. Now there is some things that Snuka did kill possibly somebody, but Snuka was put in before.
Yeah, that was after the fact.
That was
after the fact.
Yeah, that came out after the fact. So there's a difference there. Benoit killed two people and himself. So the big difference between Flair flashing himself
and kid
flashing himself, on a plane and being a drunk than what Benoit did. That's a huge difference.
Yeah, I agree.
And Flair was put in before those accusations came out.
It was different. A different time period. Not saying it makes it right, but a different time period.
Be careful. That's what they got. They took Tommy Dreamer off the air for saying that.
Yeah, and he said it on the dark side of the ring. And they pull him off.
They took him off, busted open for a couple, 2 or 3 months.
But it was. I
know.
I'm not saying it was right, but it is.
I know.
The world's a lot more. We're as a society, we're more sensitive now than what we used to be.
Yeah, but some of the stuff they did, they shouldn't have done.
No, I'm saying they shouldn't have, but it didn't bother us back then as a society like it does now.
As Paul Heyman said to the porn star that come out with Blue Meanie, we all have a past. We all have a past. We've all done stuff we shouldn't have. So it's just that they're celebrities and people know about it. I'm sure there's stuff that I've done that if Ric Flair had done it, then it would have been a big scam. I don't know of any right now, but Kelly's what's he done?
Yeah, everybody makes mistakes and does stupid shit.
You think Snuka should be taken out? Austin.
I saw that Austin said Snuka. He said Snuka should be taken out.
Yeah, you know, to a point, yeah, he should be. For that reason, yes, I agree with that. Because they found him guilty of killing that lady. Yes, he should be pulled out. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Especially if you're keeping other people out because of that.
Yep.
I think you should take him out.
And the WWE also had so much egg on their face because that happened, and then they do a tribute to Benoit
because they didn't know all this.
Well, my brother-in-law at the time called me up, says, "Hey, have you watched the TV?" And he was explaining it to me, and so I watched it. And then the very next day, they found out, "Hey, this is what really happened," and it's like, "Oh shit!"
WWE should have let that breathe. Should have let that breathe a little bit and made sure they had all the details before they done that.
Yeah. Real quick before we get out of here, because I want to see Raw. I want to see what Triple H got to say.
Too.
Yeah. Real quick, what's your take on? We'll go light with this. What's your take on Rick Steiner?
Oh, I don't know the whole story on that yet. So I'll have to get back with you.
Okay.
I Googled it a little bit because of stuff that was said on Heated Shenanigans last night, and I'll have to look into that a little more.
I watched the woman wrestle Thursday night. Me and Chris watched the Impact pay-per-view on Thursday night they had on from California, and she was in a 4-way match, women's match, and I didn't realize that. What the transgender? I didn't even know. I'm gonna be straight up honest. And I guess she was at the WrestleCon in California and walked by, and she didn't even know who it was. She just heard bad comments, and then she went and sat down. And she got thinking about it. Well, who's saying this to me? Why do I have to put up with it? So she went back down there, and then immediately Rick got up from the table and started on her again.
Wow.
And said a bunch of bad stuff. Matter of fact, I think they made him leave and banned him.
Yeah, reports are they banned him from WrestleCon. Thanks, Glenn. We appreciate that. It's a good lead into Raw after Mania. Austin says Steiner needs to keep his mouth shut. Yeah.
Well, see, and it's kind of weird because that kind of brings up one of our local issues, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So,
yeah, look. Everybody's got a right to their opinion and how they feel, but you can't go destroying people in public and bullying people or treating people that way. Not that he don't have a right to feel the way he feels. I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to get into that, but he shouldn't have verbally attacked her.
Right. I agree.
And I hope this don't affect.
That's what I'm worried about.
Ron's career.
Ron.
Sure hope not.
That's what I'm hoping don't. You got anything else?
No, we'll get out of here. Watch Raw. We'll put out what our topic's going to be. We'll get together and we'll decide what our topic's going to be for next Monday.
Any pro wrestlers out there, don't forget to send in your promos.
Yes, come
Have
on.
We got any yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Let's get some promos, guys. Let's get you on a DCCW show.
If we get a good turnout for this one, more of these organizations will be up to doing it, and that's ways to get you independent wrestlers in the different promotions. So
that's definitely. Let's get some people out there.
We're wanting to help independent wrestling grow, but we can't help it grow if you guys don't participate.
All right, it's starting.
Which I think we'll get some. I think we'll get some as it gets closer to the deadline.
Damien, there's no
because you have till we gave him till the 21st of this month, so I think as it gets closer, we'll start.
Owen deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but his wife won't let it. And Damien, CM Punk will not be in WWE.
Marcus, you have anything?
No, I'm good. It's been a good talk.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it.
It was fun.
I enjoyed it. We appreciate everybody watching. This is G.W.R. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo'S Sports Room. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, all at Gonzo'S Sports Room as well. What's that hotline, Marcus?
Delman Dan's Pro Wrestling Hotline, 317-335-4688. I'm on option number 2.
Daniel said promo will be sent when his new gear comes in. So
Okay.
That sounds great. Billy says great show tonight, guys. Thanks.
Thanks.
Brody Boggs on Wednesday at 6:30.
Oh, yeah. Yep, Brody Balkins on Wednesday, and then
DCCW on Saturday for you guys.
Yes. And Summit Pro on Sunday.
So, yeah, I won't be at either one of those. I'll be in Kentucky on Saturday, and Sunday's Family Day.
Yep.
And then double check the date here.
Oh, you know about
Wednesday, April 12th.
You know, WCW in Lebanon.
June 11th, 8th.
Yep.
It's however that Saturday is.
I think it's the 10th.
Okay, I know.
Lebanon.
June 10th.
June 10th.
Yeah. What's on the 12th?
Scott Hewlett. He did Shenanigans.
He's gonna be on there for you. All right, good deal.
What?
April.
Okay. I'm gonna watch Raw.
6:30.
Yep, 6:30. He's gonna come on, and then we're working on setting a date of trying to get all of us and Tommy, Mike, and Vinny. I think we're gonna do it as a simulcast. It'll be on all of our channels. So we're gonna work on that too. But yeah, Scott was supposed to come on a long time ago when he when he was at that show when in Lafayette. I met him there in Lafayette.
Okay.
At BMFX show. He was going to come on right after that, but some stuff with work it didn't end up not lining up. But we talked last weekend when he was here in town. He's going to come on the 12th.
All right, good. I got it on the calendar.
And I'm working on trying to get some other ones. I got to send one guy a message. Yep, I'll get him. I'll probably send it to him tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's already getting late tonight, but I'll try to get a hold of him tomorrow. But we appreciate everybody joining. We'll see you guys next Monday. Hope everybody has a great night. Enjoy Raw after Mania.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all